Hey y'all. So I was sitting here working on a couple of computers and I had the news going and got to looking around and it's getting ready to rain outside and I thought, you know what? It's time to move a little bit. So I wanted to do today's movement for people who may struggle a little bit more getting up and down out of a chair or maybe holding their balance. So this is definitely for beginners. Those of you who have been practicing yoga for a while, you can take anything that we do here today and change it to your fitting. So if you want to stand while I'm seated or however you want to change it, you go right ahead. I have to have some kind of legal disclaimer that says that you are responsible for making your choices. Please pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. You should never be feeling pain in yoga. This is simply a way to create some movement in your body, some movement in your joints, and hopefully help somebody out. So remember, you are the one making the choices to do this. So I'm starting in a chair. I'm just going to set up nice and tall. Try not to lean back into the back. Just set up nice and tall. Place your hands on your lap and your feet flat on the floor in front of you. You might edge yourself out a little bit towards the edge of the chair so that as we begin to do some of these movements, you can stand up easier. And if you have arms of the chair and you need to use them, go right ahead. So we'll start with a few breaths in and out. Just, breathing. Only you're aware of your breath right now. And we'll start simply by moving the fingers and the wrists. And you just keep with this rhythmic breath. And you might be able to hear me breathing. I probably sound like an obscene phone call, pre-phone ID days. But I'm over-exaggerating so that you get the idea of a longer inhale and exhale, maybe a little bit longer pause in between. We teach about the pause, P-A-U-S-E, in yoga a lot, and that's what kind of the whole world is doing right now, is taking a pause. But you don't want to get paused into one spot too long. And with all the rain and everything around lately, this can sometimes create little barometers in the joints. So we're just warming up the wrist joints and then start straightening and bending the arms or extending and flexing. Just simple movements that you do. You just don't do them repetitively. Notice I'm going palm down, palm in. And then you can switch it, palm up, palm out. Right? You can switch the movements up so that you're getting all the rotations in the range of motion in each plane. Just moving, phantom moving. We're moving up to the shoulders now. So phantom moving, when I say that, I'm talking about just making random motions. And think about every plane. So you've got this one, you've got this one, right? And you've got this one. So just allowing the joints to move through every plane of action. Maybe shrug the shoulders. And then we'll go to the neck, and being very careful with the neck. You don't want to try to force it down. And don't lean your neck back just yet. Just take chin to chest and then just little rolls to the side. And I always recommend moving slow, not fast, so that you're feeling it the whole way and you don't accidentally move too quickly where you like pinch a nerve, because there's the nerve bundles that come out of your neck right here, and I call them stingers. And when you pinch a nerve up in there, suddenly it's like a stinger shoots down your arm and it hurts like a mother. Sorry, that was a little crude, but it does. Now I'm just turning the head, like looking to left shoulder, and then doing the same from the right. Saying no, saying yes. Now we're going to add a little more movement for the spine. So since you're seated, this should be safe for everyone. We come into these cactus arms. You can't see both my arms. Right here. And we're going to breathe in to reach back. So like you're squeezing your scapula, the bones back here, your shoulder blades, squeezing them together. And then bowing your back, tucking your chin, reaching to the front. So you're just moving. And your body will naturally find a breath rhythm to match the movement. You don't have to try to force anything. So now we have the spine moving in one of its planes of motion. Now let's come straight up with the arms, and we'll start to take it in the next plane of motion, which is a lateral. So you're reaching up and over, and you can grab the side of the chair or the leg of the chair if you're sitting in this chair. If you're standing, just reach down. And then we'll just gently begin to add in a twisting motion. So think breathing in through the center, so you're lengthening the spine, so that when you twist, you're exhaling. And then hold the twist for a full breath in and out. And then when you breathe in, you're coming back to the center, finding that straight up and down spine, completely vertical. And then exhaling and twisting. Well, let's combine those motions. So we'll come up, lateral, back to the center, and then we'll twist the opposite direction of the lateral. And then coming back to center. And then the lateral, the opposite. And then twisting. And we'll do that a couple of more times. And if you forget which direction you went, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're moving your body. Good. Now we're going to move to the hips. So place your feet about hip width distance flat on the floor. You may need to bring them in a little closer. You may need to stagger one foot in front of the other a little bit. Because what we're going to do is we're going to stand up and sit down. And that's going to get hips and knees. So we'll just stand up, and it's going to cut my head off and sit down. Don't worry, I will not turn into a walker. Now, if you have your feet staggered, switch feet. Now, for those of you who maybe are wanting to do a little bit more than the stand up, sit down, you might be going into chair, holding chair pose, bring hands to heart, You might be coming to mountain, forward folding, halfway lift, you know, the whole time. You're making your movement. All right. Go ahead and have a seat if you wish. If you're standing, stay where you are. You're going to take one palm, it doesn't matter which, face up. Other hand is going to reach, grab the pinky finger. You're going to give it just a little slight tug out and a pull back, and then as you do, straightening the arm, flexing the heel of the hand forward. And then you release this, and you do the same thing with your ring finger. And then your traffic finger. Your index finger. What did y'all think I was going to say? There's all kinds of names, but we'll say index finger. And then with the thumb comes out at a little different angle than the fingers. So you want to come underneath. I grab between thumb and index, slight tug out. And when you pull, it's not a pull straight back, it's a little bit of a pull down so that you're keeping with the angle of the bone. And then we'll do the same thing on the other hand, starting with the pinky finger. Your ring finger, traffic, index, ooh, that one gets a tug, and your thumb. And then we're going to do cat paws. So you do like this. You take your other hand, you put it inside, and you fit finger to finger to finger to finger. Okay? And then your inner fingers are going to push out, your outer fingers are going to push in. A little bit of a strengthening exercise. You hear the thunder? Switch hands. Good. Interlace the fingers, and then just doing some phantom movement here. Saturday Night Fever. There was a time when I was a teacher when the kids would wear gloves that had lights on the fingertips, and this was one of their weird moves that they would do, doing like this, right? So you're basically doing all that, just moving the joints. So now we've stretched that. We're going to take an arm across, grab between the joints. Don't grab on a joint. So you can grab between the elbow and the wrist. If you want, you can grab between the elbow and the shoulder. One thing you do want to do is let this shoulder drop down. Don't let it be up here like this. Drop down. And you're going to pull with this hand, push with this hand simultaneously. And then sit up straight. And we're going to take that same arm, reach behind. You're going to pull with this arm, push with the elbow. And then just switch sides. Remember to pull the shoulder down and resist. And reaching overhead, again creating resistance. Good. Shake it out. We're going to stand up. We're going to switch the chair around. So now you're going to, actually I may have to do it like this so you can see it a little bit better. But you're going to place your hands on the seat. And we're going to do a spinal stretch. So you can do the seat or you can do the back of the chair. Either way. But you step back away at arm's distance and pull yourself long, slight bend to your knees. back is a little bit of a hammock here at first, just a little bit of a hammocking. And then you might actually do a little cat-cow motion here. And then up we are. We're standing. All right. So you can keep your chair handy if you have issues with balance. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of movement. Okay, so reach up, take a deep breath in, and then we're going to fold about halfway. About halfway. Take a breath in. And stay here at the halfway point. You can support yourself on your legs. And then we stand back up. Breathe in. Fold to the halfway point. Take a breath in, kind of lengthen through your spine. Pull your shoulders back. And then stand back up. You're going to act like you're sitting in your chair, but you're not sure if it's there. Take the hands behind the back. This is where you can use a towel, a belt. I like to hook my thumbs. It's a little bit easier than hooking the knuckles, but if you hook knuckles, go right ahead. I hook thumbs. You're right here. Think about rolling the upper arm bones back, rolling back. So you're doing this and not this. All right, roll them back. Now do that little bend over, keeping this arm bind. You can bend halfway, or if you have a complete forward fold, go right ahead, forward fold. And then up you go. Release it, taking the arms back up. Feel that blood flowing back down? Ooh. Whew, feels good. All right. So, just a little bit of movement like that is all you really need to get your body to where it's not quite so achy. So much going on with the weather and everything. If you're like me, your body's a barometer, right? So now we're going to stand. I'm going to kind of move a little closer to the camera. And you're going to take your right leg forward, your left leg back as if you're taking a really big step. So all 10 toes are basically facing the front. And you can take the arms up if you want. You can stay right here, warrior one. And then try the forward fold. Maybe you still have your chair right here. You can forward fold with this. If you want to straighten the knee and get the stretch of the back of the leg, that works great. And then we're going to step back up and just switch legs. All right, so we'll take a moment, because this is, for some people, this is a challenging balance. For me, it is. All right, so you're here in warrior one. You can keep the hands down, keep the hands here if you wish. And then we'll reach for the chair or reach forward. Start to straighten your front knee. So now we've stretched the back of the legs. And if you've been sitting a lot lately, the front of your legs, quadriceps, front of your thighs right here, may be feeling that too. So I'm going to turn my chair a little bit sideways. And I'm going to have to move back a little bit. Yeah, this is a big experiment. I've ordered a microphone, but my understanding is that Amazon has suspended shipping because of taking medical supplies and things. So that's cool with me. But so it might be a while before all my equipment gets here. I'm setting off the edge where I only have basically half my butt is sitting in the chair. You can sit with more, but you want to make sure your one leg is towards the very, very edge. And we're just going to try to walk a foot back. And you want to keep your upper body as tall as you can. In fact, you can grab the back of the chair and start to lean back into this. You might even be able to wrap your arms back and grab hold of your fingertips. Right? But with the leg back, basically what I'm doing seated is this. Okay, but it's a seated position. You can even take a knee down to the floor here. If your legs are that long, my legs are about that much too short, but I'm close. The more we can get a little lean back here, the more stretch we're going to get along the front of the body. And then come slowly back up. The last thing you want to do is cause your back to cramp. Right? And then I want to turn the chair around so you can see both directions. Maybe if I come back a little bit. Now, I'm doing this at home instead of at my studio because I want people to see that you don't have to have anything special. I'm not in yoga clothes. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. My dining room table that I use for a desk is sitting right there. I'm using a folding chair. It's basically making the same pose. Again, you can reach back. You can reach through the back like this. Oh gosh, there it is right there. I reached through the back instead of around the back. Ooh, that's a stretch. Okay. So that takes care of the front of that. Ooh, goodness. Okay. So now you get to rest. So a lot of times stress and tension and things that gets up into the shoulders, into the throat, especially if you find yourself holding back on what you really want to say. And so if you sit backwards in your chair, if you're comfortable with that, just stack your arms and you're just going to lay your forehead right here. And I want you to think about allowing these muscles right here, these muscles right here. I'm not going to go into all the technical names, mainly because I don't remember them, but all these muscles, right? Think of letting them relax. The front of the throat relax, the front of the chest relax. Your shoulders here where they connect, because this is all one big complex, right? So just taking a moment right here. Relax the muscles along the length of the spine. And just take 10 breaths. So when you finish your 10 breaths, just take note of how different your body might be feeling right now, if at all. And know that movement does not have to be complicated. It does not have to look a certain way, sound a certain way, or be a certain way. It just has to be what is suitable for your body at this time. So everything I showed you today can be taken from some sort of seated position or standing position, and I hope that it helps. However, and if you have any questions or comments, pop them down below, and know that you can always keep coming back here or check out my social media, Robbin Hallford Yoga, and it's on Instagram and Facebook. Or just look me up personally, Robbin Jarman Hallford, that's my maiden name. And hope to see you guys soon because I'm missing my tribe, y'all. Take care.